Okay, awesome. So I will, for the next kind of a 10 minutes, walk you through the journey, like, why the e-commerce or the shopping agent is kind of important in the form of, and how the LLM really helped us and what we have learned. I kind of built it, this quick MVP and prototype within kind of a 6 hours. So that's all thanks to Greg, Chris, Ali, and also support like Sarah for motivating us. With that, let's get started. And I'll tell you, let's meet our fictional character, Steve. So imagine right now, Steve is a very environment conscious, environment friendly, who believes in the eco-friendliness, sustainable materials, and so on. So he tries to think all his decisions. Hey, how can I make sure we do good for our environment and so on? And one day he found about, basically thinking about how can I buy a shoe which meets all those criteria. And he came across about Allbirds. And when he researched about it, he said, okay, this is exactly my persona type, what I'm looking for. And they provide exact all these materials and very conscious. So he was very excited, and you can see how kind of an Allbird, so he's like so curious to know more and try to go further. Hey, let's go and explore further. And then if you just kind of to see what this Allbirds look like. Okay, here is the website. Okay, so one question he thought, why don't I pass this the same philosophy to my kids? So let's go and buy something for my kids. Okay, so how should I do? Should I go probably kids section? Okay, there are so many things. I don't know. I came to know from my research that some kind of an wool kind of a material based something is very helpful, but it's not very convenient for me. So we can think about, okay, what about we can try the chat here. Let's see what it does. So I just try to say, okay, I'm looking for the runner shoe. Maybe I'm more budget kind of a constraint. Let's see what it gives. I don't see anything. So he kind of say, okay, let's hit enter. What happens? Okay. So you see, this is something not relevant, kind of an irrelevant answer he gets. Now he's like more kind of conscious. Okay, what happens? What basically I can do to help expedite my decision? So just to give you that perspective, hey, I have this website, I have this bunch of some responses. It takes a lot of time, a lot of clicks for me to buy. And still, I'm kind of frustrated, and which is not unnatural. If you see some of the recent reports, I believe there are average bounce rates which varies from 26 to 70% based on this e-consultancy 2023 report. So it's common. So it's a common problem. And obviously, when you look at this response, it's kind of like, okay, imagine, or I wish if I have some kind of a personalized or some agent that can help me to figure out, reduce my number of steps or clicks, help me to increase my buying decision. So what could that be? So that's where I come to help with all the learnings we have. Let's say, let's build our shopping agent and let's imagine how it could probably solve the problem. So think about it. You have the solution and you have a kind of an AI-powered search where you just go and search about it. Okay, wool runner shoes less than $100, and you get this response. So what exactly Steve was looking for? Okay, I got small birds, wool runners, little kids, obviously $34. That's what exactly. And probably what would happen, that leads to the next user journey. I'll just go ahead, add to cart and buy it. So it's a good kind of a win-win for both the buyer as well as for the company, like for Allbirds, because they increase the conversions and I reduce less time and increase my discovery and checkout. So that let's look at quickly how the quick demo about it. So let me go through that space. So I have let's create a new kind of instance of the chat. And it is hosted in the Hugging Face, and it can be embedded to your websites. So hopefully it will not hallucinate and give you the right response. But we can try to fix that. But at least the first one. Wow. So look at this. So if I ask these questions, I get it. And assume we have the link and everything. I just click on that link and buy it. So that's the power of bringing this shopping agent, which is more kind of a custom to the domain of the Allbirds, and also addresses the specific need of the customer. So that's the beauty of this agent, and you can have a follow-up conversations and so on. So with just interest of time, let's look at it. You might be curious, okay, it looks so simple, so easy. What happens? How it is built? So this is what the LLM ops, the stack behind the scene. So you see from the left side, when the user query, when the Steve entered the question, that's where we have the, in terms of the technology stack, the chainlet and the Hugging Face. It can be deployed in any of your VPC or any of the containers. So it's easily scalable, and you can put a load balancer or whatever you can add, and it's kind of scaled to millions of requests and so on. There are three key components if you see. One is the agent, which does that heavy lifting in terms of communicating, having the cache, the prompt caching, the caching of the requests and the responses, the app logic here, where basically you log. We use some of the LLM ops like for monitoring and observability. Then you have the prompts here is a standard prompt template, and also because of the e-commerce side, we pretty much use the kind of a graph DB, which is mimic the relationship between the product and those hierarchies. So uses Neo4j. We have the cipher-based prompts as well. So this the agent, what it does, it interacts with vector database. We use the Pinecone for embedding search and so on, Neo4j here, and this is for LLM ops. And the LLM here is, okay, this is, we're not sending it to the ChatGPT. It's the Llama 2 open source hosted in our own instance, everything inside our VPC or inside our own instance. And we have a Lambda, we have a gateway, so you can imagine it can scale to millions of requests with the horizontal auto scaling and so on. So yeah, that's the high level stack about how this system is built. Now, coming back to what the success criteria will look like. So obviously, as you have seen, the improved customer experience. I just want to show you another, let's say if you already have this question asked, someone else wants to ask it. And if you ask it, so how fast the response is, it's in milliseconds. It saves your cost of the number of tokens you want to do. So this is also kind of that's what I mean, the improved customer experience with low latency, faster discovery. Increase in conversion rates, the average is 20% you can go because of the Nielsen 2022 survey, the report they analyzed and researched. So they say whoever improved their internal search, they can increase up to 20% of the conversion rates. That means more revenue. Reduce the bounce rates. As I mentioned, we have a 60% on an average. So we can reduce that, means more revenue, great kind of a customer satisfaction. Data privacy, because we are not sending it to the outside, so you keep all the data. Near real-time sync of the product information, because the underlying database which is built is pretty kind of a near real-time. You can create, update, so you can have latest information. Then easier integration with e-commerce websites, because there is a target market. We know 12 to 24 million e-commerce websites available in the US. So with that option, so what is the future will look like? So before that, it's kind of a conclusion to give you. So shopping agent at scale, built with the data privacy in mind, cost-effective, seamless integration. And the future looks like we should integrate the user feedback and personalize. So you have a personalized agent for each of the customers on your website. Think about it. It's millions of personalized agents. Fine-tune this to match your brand and persona. And last but not the least is the agent at each stage of the user journey. So all the way from lead nurturing to conversion, basically you can communicate with email, back and forth communication. And then you can also write automatically, basically reduce the human intervention. But the same people can address thousands of customers versus you need 100 of representatives. So that's the biggest benefit, and that's the future this prototype can bring in. Okay, that's all about this. How I walk you through the Steve's journey, how Steve figured out the solution with the help of this LLM cohort 1. And how this helped to build this amazing production grade system. Thank you, and open for questions.